Hi, everyone. My name is Jake. I'm a sports editor with the Carlisle Sentinel. I'm here today with Dr. Michelle Patterson Ford from Dickinson College, talking to Michelle a little bit here about the psychology of teens and COVID-19, the pandemic, and how things are potentially impacting them. What concerns do you have for teens, for families at a time like this?
I think everybody at this point is under stress. But I think with teens, what we also have to realize is for them, a lot of their social life has kind of been taken away. So teens naturally sort of rely a little bit more on their peers for their social interaction and maybe less so on their family.
For teens, so much of what they do can be, incredibly self-ingrained in their identity, whether it's their, music or art or sports or whatever. When those types of things are taken away, what can the impact be on teens?
I think the impact on teens is significant, right? I think the impact of this pandemic on teens has been significant. Number one, from a social standpoint, but also, we took away their schooling. Athletes lost their sport. Teens in musicals weren't able to kind of perform in that way. Teens who dance weren't able to perform in those ways. And so we changed their life dramatically. And for these things, which are a part of their identity, when they don't have them, they might struggle to kind of, question sort of who they are, what makes them who they are anymore. And so it kind of takes them sort of off their foundation in that way. Now, teens can be incredibly resilient, sometimes more than adults can be. And so this doesn't necessarily have to be, permanently life altering for them. But I think it's important to recognize that these losses that they've had in their life are having an impact on them and are significant for them.
So what separates teens that can handle this stuff a little bit better than others? And what about their makeup, makes it easier or harder in some cases?
So one of the things we know about resilience is that good social support is a great predictor of resilience. So either having good family support or having good peer support. We also know that having good problem-solving skills and having a good, healthy, positive community around them tend to make people in general, but particularly teens, much more resilient in times of stress. And then some of the experiences you mentioned, I think about learning experiences. So when a teen has had an opportunity to experience some sort of difficulty and sort of learn to overcome it, then they become more confident in their ability to deal with stress and to kind of move through it and overcome it.
At what point does this become really life-altering and I guess traumatic in a way?
So I think maybe what you're asking is, at what point are we concerned either for ourselves or for our children, or for our teen? It's normal for all of us to be under stress right now and to show stress reaction, to get overwhelmed at times, to maybe be a little shorter, have a shorter fuse at times. If it feels like someone's mood is changing drastically and kind of staying that way, so it's persisting, it's not kind of this ebb and flow of mood, or if it feels like someone is getting really angry and that anger is kind of being consistent and persisting and isn't really letting up in ways that it would have before, this is what I would call a red flag for thinking that maybe things are starting to really get kind of beyond just the stress point, and maybe we need to start intervening in more significant ways. And that may be bringing in more social supports, taking some time to kind of do some more stress management, stress relief type activities. But typically, if it's going on for a long period of time, a couple weeks, a month or more, this is when I might start considering, do we need to maybe bring in a professional consultation of some sort? So the first thing you would want to do is talk to the person about it and ask and see if you can get some more information about what's going on. But if it seems like an individual is really struggling, I can't stress enough the importance of bringing in that professional help sooner rather than later. Typically, bringing the professional help in sooner shortens the course of whatever it is that might be going on.
What other things should they be looking out for?
So some of the things we look at are the basics, right? So have they lost interest in things that are typically really interesting for them? So are they no longer interested in spending any time with their friends, and spending any time in the activities that they used to really kind of value and spend a lot of time in? If we see changes in their eating patterns, so that's either eating, more than they would usually eat or less than they usually eat, and then changes in mood. So things, do Do they appear to be crying, more frequently than they used to? Do they appear to be agitated or angry? What I encourage parents to do is take time as a family to do some de-stress type of activities, right? So that can look like hopefully playing a board game. For some families, that can actually be a little stressful. But maybe having some downtime to watch TV together, also build in some alone time.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Michelle Patterson Ford. I appreciate the time you have. I hope things are going well with you and your family.
Yes, thank you for your time as well.